Let me tell you something that happened last week that made me completely rethink how I parent. I got a call from my cousin Beth. She lives in Ohio. I live in London. We don't talk as much as we should, but when we do, it always turns into this weird competition about who's messing up their kid less. Beth was crying. Not the loud, ugly kind. The kind where you're trying to hide it while you talk. She said Ella had a meltdown at Target. In the cereal aisle. I dragged her out by the arm. People stared. I got in the car and just sat there. I didn't even start the engine for 10 minutes. And I knew exactly what she meant. Because last month, my son Rafi lost his mind outside the tube station. He wanted to touch the escalator. Not ride it, just touch the moving handrail. I said no. And he went absolutely feral. Screaming, flailing, the whole performance. I stood there with a screaming toddler while commuters stepped over us like we were a puddle. One man actually said "Cheers, mate," as he squeezed past. Cheers, mate. I wanted to set myself on fire. So Beth and we have the same problem, but the way we deal with it, completely different. And that's what I want to talk about today, because I think there's something here about attachment. About what a secure base actually looks like that neither of us was getting right. Let me back up a little. Beth and I grew up together, kind of. Our moms are sisters. My mom moved to London in her 20s, married a British bloke, had me. Beth's mom stayed in Ohio. So we have the same family chaos, just on different sides of the ocean. And we both became parents around the same time. Her daughter, Ella, is 4. My son, Rafi, is 4. We send each other photos. We pretend we have it together. But last summer, Beth's family came to visit. They stayed at our flat for a week, and watching her parent in real time, and her watching me, it got uncomfortable in a good way. In a way that made both of us cry at least once. Let me tell you about Beth first. Beth reads all the books. I mean all of them. The Whole Brain Child. How to Talk So Kids Will Listen. Good Inside. She has a calm down corner with a weighted blanket and a feelings chart. She uses scripts. I've heard her say, "I see you're feeling frustrated," to Ella about 50 times. And Ella is 4. She doesn't know what frustrated means. But Beth says it anyway because the book said to. Here's what happened at Target. Ella wanted a specific cereal. The one with the rainbow on the box. They were out. Ella started to cry. Beth tried the script. "I see you're disappointed. We can choose another cereal together." Ella kept crying. Beth tried validation. It's hard when we don't get what we want. Ella screamed. Beth's face got red. And then Beth told me this part with so much shame in her voice, she grabbed Ella's arm and pulled her out of the aisle. Not hard enough to hurt, but hard enough that Ella's feet almost came off the ground. Beth sat in the car for 10 minutes. Then she drove home. She didn't say much. Ella fell asleep in the car seat. And for the next 2 days, Beth apologized. She bought Ella a stuffed animal. She said Mommy is so sorry about 17 times. She kept asking, "Are you okay? Are you mad at me?" And Ella would say it's okay, but she wouldn't look at Beth. She'd just hold the stuffed animal and stare at the TV. That's Beth's pattern. Fix it fast. Make it better. Erase the bad moment. I recognize it because her mom, my aunt, does the same thing. When we were kids, if my aunt lost her temper, she'd buy us ice cream. She'd say, let's not talk about it. She couldn't sit in the discomfort. And now Beth can't either. So Ella is learning that feelings get smoothed over, not sat with. That's anxious attachment breadcrumbs, right there. The kid starts to think, if I get upset, Mom will panic. So maybe I should hide my upset. Or maybe I should get really, really upset so she really, really rescues me. Now let me tell you about me. Because I'm not better. I'm just different. When Rafi melted down at the tube station, I didn't drag him. I didn't yell. But I also didn't do the whole gentle parenting script thing. I just sat down on the ground next to him. On the dirty tube station floor. I didn't say anything. I just sat there. He screamed. A woman asked if he was okay. I said he's having a feeling, and she looked at me like I had just told her I eat raw chicken. When he calmed down, I didn't make a big speech. I didn't apologize. I just said all done. And he nodded. We got on the train. Beth would call that cold. She'd say I didn't repair properly, that I swept it under the rug. And maybe she's right. But here's what I noticed. Rafi melted down less often than Ella. Not because he's happier, because he learned that big feelings don't get a big reaction from me. So he started having them where I couldn't see. At nursery, they told me he's very easy, never cries, never fights, just plays quietly. And I thought I was winning. I thought I had the chill kid. Then one night, Rafi woke up at 2 a.m. Not screaming, just sitting up in bed, staring at the wall. I went in and asked what was wrong. He didn't answer. I asked if he had a bad dream. He shook his head. I asked if he wanted a hug. He shook his head again. He just sat there for 20 minutes. And then he lay back down and went to sleep. I didn't think much of it at the time, but now I realize that was avoidant attachment. Right there in his little 4-year-old body. He learned that Mom doesn't do big feelings. So he stopped bringing them to me. Not because he didn't have them. Because he didn't trust me to know what to do with them. So Beth and we're both wrong. She over-repairs. I under-repair. She panics at the first tear. I stay so calm I might as well be a piece of furniture. And neither of those things is a secure base. Here's where the story gets good. That week Beth stayed with us, we saw each other parent in real time, and we both got uncomfortable. The second night, Ella refused to put on her pajamas. Beth did her script, I see you're feeling resistant. We need to get ready for bed. Would you like the red pajamas or the blue? Ella screamed neither and threw a book. Beth looked at me, embarrassed. And then she whispered, I don't even know what resistant means. I read that in a book. I laughed. Not at her dot with her. Because I've done the same thing. Used therapy words with a 4-year-old like he has a degree in attachment theory. I said, just put the damn pajamas on her. Beth looked horrified. But she did it. She just put the pajamas on Ella while Ella cried. It took about 90 seconds. Then Ella asked for a story. Beth, read it. They cuddled at the end. No stuffed animal. No 17 apologies. Just. Pajamas and a story. Beth looked at me after and said that felt wrong. But it worked. 2 days later, it was my turn. Rafi had a meltdown because I wouldn't let him bring a toy digger to the dinner table. I did my usual thing, sat there, didn't say much, waited it out. But Beth stopped me. She said, "You're just going to sit there." I said, "Yeah, that's what I do." She said, "Say something. He needs to know you're sad too." So I tried something different. I said, "I'm sad too, mate. I wish you could bring the digger. But we can't. And that sucks." Rafi stopped crying for a second. He looked at me like I'd finally shown up. And then he said okay and climbed into my lap. That had never happened before. He'd never climbed into my lap after a meltdown. Because I'd never invited him in. I just sat there like a stoic British statue. So here's what we figured out, Beth and me. On my dirty kitchen floor at 11 p.m., drinking tea that had gone cold an hour ago. The secure base, the actual thing that attachment research talks about, it's not about being calm all the time. It's not about using the right script. It's about being real. It's about repair. Not over repair. Not under repair. Just repair. You mess up. You come back. You say that wasn't fair, or I'm sorry I grabbed your arm, or I'm sad too. And then you sit in the discomfort together. Not for too long. Just long enough. The research calls it rupture and repair. Every relationship has ruptures. That's normal. The secure base isn't the parent who never ruptures. It's the parent who repairs, and repairs again. Over and over for 18 years. Beth and I are both trying now. She called me yesterday. Different tone this time. She said, Ella got mad because I wouldn't let her have a cookie before dinner. She started to spiral. And instead of doing the whole "I see you're frustrated" thing, I just said I know. That sucks. And then I didn't say anything else. I asked what happened. She said, Ella looked at me weird. Then she said yeah and went to play with her Legos. That was it. No meltdown. No stuffed animal. Just. That sucks. And last week, I tried the opposite. Rafi got upset about leaving the playground. I sat with him, but this time I didn't stay silent. I said, I'm sad too. I wish we could stay forever. He looked at me. Then he took my hand and walked to the car. No fight. No shutdown. Just a kid who finally believed that I actually felt something. We're both learning. Slowly. Miss Silly. That's the whole point of a secure base. Not perfection. Just showing up again, even if you're 3,000 miles apart. Even if you yelled in the cereal aisle, even if you sat there like a statue, you get another chance. You always get another chance. If you're still here, if any of this landed for you, the mess, the mistakes, the trying again, then you're in the right place. Hit subscribe. Not because I have all the answers. I don't. Beth and I are literally figuring this out in real time. But subscribe because you want to figure it out too. In a world of growing threats, security is crucial. Because you yelled this morning.
Secure Base delivers the protection
silent.
you need.
And you don't want to do that
Base
forever.
for your digital peace of mind.
That's what Secure Base is for.
Whether it's your personal data or your company's
Real
most
parents.
valuable assets, Secure Base
Real
safeguards
messes.
everything. Advanced encryption,
Real
real-time
repair.
monitoring, and effortless peace of mind.
I'll see you in the next one. And seriously, you're doing better than you think.